This is the quintessential heart of Habsburg Madrid, but you should be aware that its present appearance differs from the one it had during the Habsburg dynasty. In the Middle Ages, what is now the Plaza Mayor was the Plaza del Arrabal, a large asymmetrical space outside the city walls where all types of products were traded. As Madrid grew increasingly urban, Philip II ordered construction of a new square fit for the capital of an empire. The project was later set in motion by Philip III. Inspired by the Monastery of El Escorial, Juan Gómez de Mora drew up plans for the area around the Casa de la Panadería, the initial heart of the square designed by Diego Sillero. Unlike the Uceda Palace, the Casa de la Panadería is in traditional Madrid style, slate roof tiles and a facade with two towers topped by pinnacles. Let's pause to recall Uceda Palace and compare it to the Casa de la Panadería. Different, right? Moving along, we return to the Plaza Mayor and see that walls of the Casa de la Panadería don't feature that typical mix of red and grey. This is because last century the building was decorated with murals at the request of the city council. The building has served various functions, acting as the city bakery, the Royal Academy of Arts and the Royal Academy of History. It now houses the Madrid Tourist Board. The other buildings each had 5 floors. The porticos were made of wood, and the square was not completely closed. The square suffered several fires, the worst of which occurred in 1790. The only building salvaged was the Casa de la Panadería, which served as a model for the rebuilding carried out by Juan de Villanueva, another of Madrid's great architects, who we will get to know in the video tour of Bourbon Madrid. The square as it appears today is the result of this rebuilding. It is now closed. Its buildings have 3 floors. The porticos are made of stone, granite of course, and the walls are plastered red. Throughout history, the Plaza Mayor has hosted a variety of events: bullfights, crowded auto fest during the Inquisition, the canonization of San Isidro, and royal coronations, such as that of Philip III. It currently hosts concerts, fairs, and markets, such as the one held every Christmas. In its center stands a statue of Philip III on horseback. As mentioned earlier, his political skills were indifferent, but he is remembered as the first king born in Madrid and a driving force behind this square. His son Philip IV succeeded him and was one of the longest reigning monarchs, 44 years, from 1621 until 1645. Like his father, he had no special talent for politics, and the Spanish Empire suffered defeats and losses, including Portugal and the Netherlands. However, Philip IV was a great admirer of culture and the arts. He amassed some 800 paintings by Europe's top painters. Items from his private collection can be viewed today at the Prado Museum. Madrid's urban growth continued under the reign of Philip IV, and new and important buildings were constructed. We will see 2. To get to the first one, we will exit the square through Calle Gerona, which will take us to Plaza de la Provincia. This is the Palacio of Santa Cruz, also known as the Cárcel de Corte, court jail. As a building, it is one of the most demonstrative of the architecture style of Habsburg Madrid. It is very well preserved. As you may have guessed, it originally served as a jail and courthouse. It now houses the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Several architects worked on the project, including José de Villarreal. Due to the period in which it was constructed, the building is classified as Baroque, but you can see that even so it is heavily influenced by the classicism of El Escorial, and it boasts all of the features typical of Madrid architecture: two-tone red brick and grey granite, slate roofs, and tower topped by pinnacles, the same towers that Uceda Palace lacks. Next, let's move on to our last stop, which is close to where we started out. Head to Plaza de la Villa, located across from the Plaza Mayor.
Aquí encontramos
Here we find the other major construction project carried out under the reign of Philip IV, the Casa de la Villa. This building also served as a jail, a municipal one in this case, and was the seat of the Madrid City Council, which still owns it. Again, note the influence of El Escorial and the same features seen in earlier buildings, the use of brick and granite, slate roofs and towers with pinnacles. A contrast can also be appreciated, however, in that the austerity of Spanish Renaissance has begun to fade, and the Baroque elements have gained importance in the facade. In other words, decorative features are gaining ground and invading much of the available space, seen in the pediments on the windows and coats of arms carved into the walls. Why is this? One of the main reasons is that the construction of the building took several decades and was completed in 1695 under the reign of Charles II, when Baroque was gaining popularity. In addition, several architects worked on the project, such as Juan Gómez de Mora, who designed the building, and José de Villarreal, who began construction. Only one section contains no traces of the Baroque style. You can see it if you lean out towards the Calle Mayor. It is a neoclassical columned balcony built by Juan de Villanueva at the end of the next century. Philip IV was succeeded by Charles II, who was nicknamed the Bewitched, due to the personal and mental problems which left him unable to father children. This led to the War of Succession after his death, and the conflict resulted in the fall of the House of Habsburg and the accession to the throne of the House of Bourbon, Spain's present royal family. Although many interesting buildings were constructed in Madrid under the reign of Charles II, this is the end of our brief history of Habsburg Madrid.
Aquí concluye
The video tour is now over, but Habsburg Madrid does not end here. If you want to find out more about the buildings we have visited or discover new ones, you can do so with the following video guides devoted to each king. Please remember that you can download these video guides free from my website and comment on them on my Facebook profile. The links below will lead you there. Thank you for coming out and enjoy your time in Madrid.
Por estar ahí y a disfrutar de Madrid.